The first time my son warned me about her, I laughed. That was my mistake. You don't understand, Dad, Ethan had said over the phone, his voice unusually tense. Just please, when you meet her family this Sunday, don't agree to anything, no matter what they say. I remember chuckling as I leaned back in my leather chair, staring at the city skyline outside my office window. Agree to what? Marriage isn't a business deal. There was a long pause. That's exactly what it is to them, he replied quietly. I should have taken that seriously. Sunday lunch was meant to be simple. A family gathering, a celebration. My only son was engaged, and I was finally meeting the woman he claimed to love, Vanessa Clark, and her parents. I hosted it at my house, a modest but elegant place I had built after decades of hard work. Nothing flashy, but enough to show I had done well for myself. At exactly 1 p.m. they arrived. Vanessa walked in first, confident and poised. She was beautiful, striking, really, but there was something about her smile that felt rehearsed, like she had practiced it in a mirror. Behind her were her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Clark, well-dressed, polite, but with sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Daniel, what a pleasure," Mr. Clark said, gripping my hand just a second too tightly. "The pleasure's mine," I replied. Ethan stood beside Vanessa, but something about him felt off. His shoulders were stiff, his smile forced. That was my second mistake, ignoring that. Lunch began pleasantly enough. We spoke about business, travel, and future plans. Vanessa laughed at the right moments. Her mother complimented my home. Her father asked about my company with an interest that felt more calculated than casual. Then halfway through dessert, everything changed. Vanessa set her fork down. "So Daniel," she said sweetly, "since we're all family now, I think it's time we discuss expectations." I frowned slightly. Expectations. She nodded, folding her hands neatly. "Yes, you see, Ethan and I are planning our future together, and for that we need stability." Ethan shifted uncomfortably beside her. I glanced at him. He didn't meet my eyes. "What exactly are you asking?" I said slowly. Vanessa smiled again, but this time it didn't reach her eyes. "We would like a transfer of $2 million as a gesture of goodwill and support for our marriage." The room went silent. I thought I had misheard her. "I'm sorry," I said, leaning forward. "Did you just say $2 million?" Her father cleared his throat. "It's not an unreasonable request, Daniel. You're a successful man. This is about securing your son's future." "My son already has a future," I replied sharply. "He works in my company. He earns his own living." Vanessa's expression hardened just slightly. "Yes, but we want independence, a fresh start. And frankly," she paused, her tone cooling, "this is a small price for peace." That word price echoed in my mind. And suddenly, Ethan's warning came rushing back. I turned to my son. "Ethan," I said quietly, "did you know about this?" He finally looked at me. And in his eyes, I saw something I had never seen before. Fear. "I told you, Dad," he said, barely above a whisper. Vanessa's head snapped toward him. "Excuse me." "You told him," her mother demanded. Ethan stood up, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. "Yes, I told him," he said, his voice gaining strength. "Because this isn't right. None of this is right." Vanessa stood up too, her composure cracking. "You promised you'd handle this." "I'm not selling my father," Ethan shot back. The tension in the room turned electric. Mr. Clark's polite mask vanished. "Young man, watch your tone." "No," Ethan said firmly. "You watch yours. This isn't a negotiation. This is extortion." That word hung in the air like a thunderclap. I slowly stood up. "Everyone sit down," I said calmly. But no one moved. I looked at Vanessa. "Let me ask you something," I said. "If I refuse, what happens?" She hesitated. Just for a second. But it was enough. Her father answered instead. Then perhaps this marriage becomes difficult. I nodded slowly. I see. Ethan stepped closer to me. Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't know how bad it was until recently. They've been pressuring me for weeks. Vanessa scoffed. Pressuring? We're offering you a better life. A life bought with my father's money, Ethan snapped. That's not a life, that's a transaction. Her face twisted with anger. You're being naive, she said coldly. Do you think love is enough? The world doesn't work like that. Maybe not your world, he replied. I took a deep breath. Let me make something clear, I said, my voice steady. I didn't build my life by handing out money to people who demand it, and I certainly won't start now. Vanessa's mother laughed bitterly. Then you're willing to ruin your son's happiness over money. I looked at Ethan. He shook his head. No, I said quietly, I'm protecting it. Vanessa stared at me, her expression turning icy. Then I suppose there's nothing more to discuss. She turned to Ethan. Well, she said, are you coming with me or not? The question cut deeper than anything else that day. Ethan looked at her. Then at me. For a long moment, no one spoke. Finally, he exhaled. No, he said. Her eyes widened. What? I'm not coming, he repeated, because this isn't love, it's control. Vanessa's face darkened with fury. You'll regret this, she hissed. Maybe, he said, but at least it'll be my choice. Mr. Clark slammed his hand on the table. This is a mistake, Daniel, a very costly mistake. I met his gaze calmly. The only mistake would have been saying yes. They left shortly after. No goodbyes, no pleasantries. Just the sound of a door slamming shut. For a while the house was silent. Ethan sat down heavily, running his hands through his hair. I'm sorry, Dad, he said again. I walked over and placed a hand on his shoulder. You have nothing to apologize for. I should have ended it sooner, he admitted. I kept hoping she'd change. People rarely change when money is involved, I said quietly. He nodded. After a moment, he looked up at me. Did you ever consider it, even for a second? I smiled faintly. Not even for a heartbeat. Weeks passed. Life slowly returned to normal. Ethan focused on his work. He seemed lighter, freer, like a weight had been lifted off him. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, he spoke again. You know, he said, I thought losing her would break me. And did it? He shook his head. No, it saved me. I nodded, looking out at the fading light. Sometimes, I said, the most dangerous thing isn't losing something you love, it's holding onto something that was never real to begin with.